It's funny with all the things going on in this chapter, Attack on Titan 118, that like all these different character moments. The thing that I cared most about and I was more interested in is just the strategic kind of layout with Magath and Magath Pieck over on their wall side, and I just thought that was really cool. That's why I'm using this pen. I'll get to that once we get to that chapter, but I'm gonna go over everything, kind of summing it up. Obviously, we left off now. Zeke is here. He's throwing all his rocks, taking out the zeppelins, and obviously it's cool. He's taking out all these airships. He's pretty much super mega artillery titan, and it's obviously he's like, okay, I'm gonna take out all these zeppelins. He's destroying them. He's pretty much taking out all their air support in one go. But I really just wish the first thing he did was take out that cannon, because that just seems like the best choice of action. I don't know why he didn't go for that immediately, because everything else he definitely could have been able to take out. And it's not like he like saw Reiner and was like, oh, Aaron's in huge trouble. He's got Clearly, if he's this accurate with shots, he has to have really good eyesight, at least in Beast Titan. I feel like he would have seen, like, oh, he's ripping off his head. And he could have easily taken out both shots, like, bam, Pieck, okay, now I'm going to save Aaron, throw it at him. But that's not how it went. And now that clearly kind of screwed him over, but kind of helped him in a way, which I'll get to in the. But he took out all the airships, and he's going for Pieck, who throws a bunch of artillery at him. Pieck jumps off and holds on to the wall, but all these guys are now coming up behind him and getting ready to assault them, which I thought was at least cool. You're keeping some of the early aspects from the series still relevant with the 3D maneuvering gear, keeping it into these guys are still like trained for killing titans. It's not, even though like they're not large scale killing titans anymore, it's still relevant, like they're training for in this. But it's you'd think that like would have taken that out first, because otherwise there's no stopping Z. Even if like there was an issue with air, like the thing about it is like the airships. Okay, they're airships, but they're slow. There's nothing on them that I think that we've seen that really makes them a threat to Zeke. Like the only thing that really is a threat to him is that big ass artillery cannon. Take that out, and he's pretty much unstoppable here, with no one going to be able to catch him in time. But now they're like, okay, he's got to move to Aaron. You're going to use the power of the founding Titan ability to pretty much cause the rumbling. They're going to go about that whole plan. But then like Gabi's like freaking out and talking about they got to stop him. And they're like, oh, we got to find Falco, and to make sure he's alive. And there's all these characters trying to like prioritize of what exactly they want to do versus like what they need to do right now. So it's a little bit of a struggle between your wants and really the bigger picture. Then we get back to inside the jail cell, and all these characters are still trying to like figure out what they want to do. You get this all over the place, because obviously there's the aspect of just kind of like your base emotions of what you want, and kind of like your more soldierly duties, which I think is like pretty interesting for their characters to kind of be like struggling on. And you get this one, I don't need forgot this guy's name, but he's just like, oh yeah, I drank Zeke's spinal fluid. He could turn me into a monster at any point, so I can't really go back to my daughters now. I don't want to talk to him, but he's like, I can't, because of the danger that I possessed if I turn into a titan as kids. So that's obviously like a nice little character moment for him, coming over, letting them all out of their jail cells, and like we need to go and help Aaron. Obviously, he's pretty powerful, but he's not invincible, and we need to be able to help him so they don't take his power. And then, because if they take the founding Titan's power back from Aaron, it's pretty much game over for everyone inside the walls, all the Eldians. And Connie's just like, no, fuck this shit. I don't want to be part of this anymore. I don't want to help any of these people that keep betraying me. I don't know why he just doesn't leave. Like he could honestly probably like just leave, go get a boat, like pack with enough supplies, and go sell to some random island. Because that's one of the things about Attack on Titan I think is kind of, I mean, it's not like goofy. I would say more just like a really, really funny aspect. Like you could just go to some random island in the middle of nowhere and just live your life. Like just some random, like, take like a generic idea of like stranded on an island and just like, I don't know, fish and build a hut and just live there forever, and you're pretty much voided out from any of the issues between Marley and you're just chilling, and you live a isolated life, but at least you live. But uh, then it's like get back to like talking about like Aaron's plan, and they're like, oh, if I didn't go with Yelena, she would have just killed me. And I don't believe her euthanasia plan, and all these things that they're going around the getting struggle of wants and overall picture goals. Armin's just kind of like talking about how they have to be able to figure out what the most optimal thing to go about is while still kind of helping, but not going the full length of like let's euthanize all these Alpians. Mikasa's just kind of like sitting over side like what I want to do. Obviously, she's got some emotional struggles. She doesn't know what to do now because Aaron, who pretty much like her whole life was centered around, is just like, all right, back off. I know you're pretty much just obsessed with me because you're an Ackerman, all this stuff. Armin thinks it's just a lie, and now so that's kind of the wonder now is that actually a lie, and that she doesn't have any of her own kind of thoughts. It's all kind of her Ackerman. It'd be kind of cool if it wasn't actually true, and that was just Aaron playing head games. But then, really, what does that kind of put Mikasa? Her whole character right now is just kind of like, and they're just all trying to figure out what to do. They're also like, we just need to let out some of the Titans to kind of just flex their power to make Marley pretty much back off. And if even if they don't just crush their whole kingdom, the fact that they're able to fight off their the strongest military in the world, beat them, would be enough to give them strength to pretty much be left alone for as long as they can. They don't need to, yeah, they don't need all of them, but they should like pretty much like station them all around the place to pretty much make them like sentries. Just imagine like on the island, like every mile or two, there's a colossal titan just standing there, and maybe find out a way to make it so like if one goes down or X something, that let off some form of signal, some way, just kind of like some detection system. So if there's another invasion, they have a way out. Obviously, it wouldn't just be like, hey, an alert system. It's like, hey, an alert system that turns into a damn 50-meter tall giant destruction creature. It'd just be something interesting for them to kind of pull apart and to use. But even amongst all this, they're all just kind of like figure out. Gene's like, yeah, Aaron's pissing me off, but we still want to help him. Still got an aspect to him that they still like, and Connie just wants to punch him in the face, so he doesn't want him to die. He's pretty much gonna help him to hit him, which is like I feel like he definitely still wants Aaron to live. He's still his buddy, but he's about him, and all this kind of juggling with their own feelings. They don't know whether or not they want Aaron to be taken out because they don't know if all the stuff that he's gone on about is true, and he's just saying it to help his friends, and it's just just this big kind of like again like rumble and shamble of these characters not sure exactly how to handle this situation because it was all very sudden for them. This guy that they'd fought for years is now kind of like causing all these problems, and like pretty much saying like, "Screw you guys! I want to be on your side. I want to get my own thing going on, and you guys are just gonna get in the way." But in reality, potentially that he's just trying to keep them safe. That's really something for to keep question about Aaron. And actually, there was like a funny point. I got grilled a little bit when I was talking about it. Is like I saw Shadis and Pixis, and you see like Shadis, and he's all beaten up, and then it was Pixis, and I was just like, how? Where did all this guy's injuries go? Why is he fine? And there's just I didn't actually like. I looked at it, and I didn't keep in mind like literally these are the two different people. Like I just saw a bald dude in his military gear with a little bit of facial hair, and I was like, oh, it's the same guy. And I didn't even keep in mind that they literally say the two guys' names both on the panels, and I looked like a bit of a dummy there. But I thought that was kind of funny because I was literally I was really confused for a moment. But I thought that was an interesting thing to bring in there because I've only read through Attack on Titan once, so obviously like the characters aren't as like branded into my memory as somebody who's times. I mean, keeping up with it, it goes over it way more. Like I'm much more casual with it, so I forget about stuff if I'm not reminded. Luckily, I got some people that I've read the series a few times that I can ask questions. stuff like this, so I don't look as ridiculous when I talk about it. But Mikasa leaves her scarf behind. I think that the fact that she leaves it kind of folded up and like in a safe spot, but she leaves it is like she doesn't want to get rid of it, but she doesn't want like Aaron pretty much like on her back in her way in this whole battle. She doesn't want him with her right now because she's not sure, but she doesn't want to trash it for the possibility that all the stuff Aaron had was pretty much just for show to keep her distance. And so I think that was more interesting than just like her abandoning it. The fact that she left it like that, all folded up and safe in a spot that she could just come back to it. And if the case came to be that that Aaron pretty much was just doing it to keep her safe. And if she's like, oh, okay, I'm all right to pretty much care about Aaron again. It's not just like he's in for my own sake. She could go and get it. Get back to wearing it. Yelena's just watching all of the get like destroyed and kind of just embracing in the entire view of things. And she's a weird character. People like really like hype up like the fact that she's such a weirdie. I'm kind of like, I actually it's my always thoughts of her is like whenever she's in the same like panels as Armin, and the characters look so similar that I just kind of like I focus more on the fact that she just looks like Big Armin in any of their panels. I know what people are gonna be like. There's so many differences between them, but I'm sure if like it was colored, like I'd be able to be like, yeah, obviously, but like the same like hair design, similar face, obviously. And she has such a small chest, you can't even tell she's a chicken a lot. But but then get back to Gabi, who actually has like the moments of just like realizing and accepting the fact that the Eldians aren't actually bad. It's just kind of like propaganda, like put in her head to make her think that way. They're just trying to live. And her and Falco have some good moments of him like confessing her affections for her and how he wanted to pretty much Titan candidate to protect her because he wanted her to he wanted to marry her, and even if he died, 13 years, that she would still live a long, happy life, which was nice for him. Falco even he's just a lad. I was actually under like a theory that she was actually an Ackerman. Falco was set on. I think that was the theory that I had, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, unless maybe that fully comes later on. I don't know. And then she's just like, okay, we're gonna find Zeke. Maybe if Zeke knows that you tested the spinal fluid, he won't do this. I doubt. I doubt that. Zeke seems pretty much big picture kind of guy. Even if Falco's his buddy, he's probably gonna be like, well, sorry, dude. And when Zeke is just like thrashing like the Jaws Titan, all these guys are just getting mauled by him. I don't know how he's not dead. Like you look at the Jaws Titan, he's got like chunks blown off his face, all in his body. How did he not nail like the actual Galliard piece within him? And again, like what I was talking about at the start, like the part I cared about most was like this part when all the guys like get back up with Gex like Titan skeleton, all the steam coming off, and they're like, yeah, we did it, but they don't know who did it, or it was actually not them. It was just Pieck kind of like pulled out of it, and then skeleton remained steam, and all the guys in there just used it as cover. It was a fake so they can hide under it, use the steam, as camouflage, and the skeleton as cover, snipe all these dudes, take them out, and here we have it to where they weren't paying attention to it. Thought it was all taken care of, and then bam, Magath just snipes out Zeke from afar. And I like that the design of the cannon has the stand legs by default. So in this case, like, okay, let's pull out of Pieck, then you can still have it mounted, still be able to use it. I really like that. I thought that was a really cool, nice little feature in there. And I like their strategic little layout of that, where they just made it kind of like these characters who somebody else got it, let their guard down, take them all out, and then be able to use a cannon like this. Again, Zeke, if you just hit the cannon, if you just knocked up the cannon, he didn't even have to destroy it. He just had to like hit it with enough artillery that it would mess with the barrel. Bam! It's pretty much busted it, and to be fully destroyed. Just like how aim and its trajectory and stuff, and aim are just messed up to the point where it can't fully be used. and it just completely doesn't destroy it, but it just throws it off entirely and breaks it. That would have been nice for him. But he gets sniped. So this is what I was talking about though, that this seems kind of like hurt him, but really kind of open up an area for him to get through with it. Because he falls off the wall and now he's on the ground, and it's like, oh, Zeke's probably gonna yell. But he's on the ground. Aaron's not that far from him. He can now walk up to him without having to climb the wall. So now he could just run up, grab Zeke, and then bam, use their power. I think that was a little bit of a bad strategy on their part. Because yeah, now they're in direct contact. They're literally just like a couple feet because he falls directly down, and before that, Aaron is like 30 feet from him or something, only a handful of meters away. But we'll see. That's what I'm calling. I don't think he's gonna scream, but I think the fact that Aaron is so close, he's literally just gonna run up to him, probably lay out some Hammer Titan walls, and then just bam, protect him, and then combine their power, and then the rumbling I think will commence in the chapter. So calling it now. So tell me in the comment section below what you think. Again, names that I get wrong and stuff. I've only read through Attack on Titan one time, so I'm not as honed as some other people listening. So just correct me in the comments for names and stuff. Obviously, I appreciate any corrections. Anybody that wants to, tell me how it is, tell me how your opinions, because that's obviously the point of the comment section. Anything that I said you don't agree with, just tell me in the comments below. And I'd really appreciate if you thumbs up the video, prefer the like button and subscribe button, and check out my other videos. I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank y'all for listening.